to the server. All right, so I'm Dave Mahabali. Most people call me Maha or Mahadave. We're here to do the Shadow and Light tech preparation to learn how to do breakout rooms, as well as any other questions that may happen. So I'm going to start quickly and just show you the link that Kathy has made for us, and she put a lot of work into it. So hopefully as a tech, you can go and read that tonight if you haven't. And this is what it looks like. So it's a Google Doc. It's pretty long and intensive, but all the information is there. Our business starts to begin around contacting the person that you are teching for. That always helps. And I tend to do also send them a little message saying it's me, and the email people, because the email people are going to be very helpful for you while you're teching. Okay. We are expected to join the call 20 to 25 minutes beforehand, where around that time, one of the lead techs, and Eco, myself, Becca, Pushkar, and there's someone else, will pop on with you and sort of get you set up for Facebook. And then just once we click you over, you'll be the host, and then we may drop off depending on what we have to do. So you don't have to worry about Facebook here. We'll take care of that. But you will be able to host the room. Okay, so you'll join the call. The tech lead will come, and that's two. Introduce yourself to the speaker and the volunteers, and then title your name. So I'm going over it quickly. You have this document. I just really want to get to the inner working. So if you have questions, just save it till the end, and I'll try to answer them as well. Okay. This is self-explanatory. Change your name. Oh, it's in 35 minutes. Okay. Very important is 21 down on the list. Close the Zoom room. Make sure when you're in the room and you close it, because that'll end the Zoom, which will start processing the copying of the video, and it won't happen until you close the room. And it'll also close the Facebook. If you leave it open, it's going to record everything that keeps going, and they'll be recorded to Facebook, and that'll be a problem. But that being said, the tech leads are supposed to come and try to help you out with that stuff, but that's just there. And that's why it's highlighted, underlined, bold, and all that good stuff. Okay, like I said, this document's there. If you don't have it, send a link on Messenger and I'll get it to you. And then we'll go from there. All right, so now a couple things that we are going to be able to do, and you can either raise your hand or use the physical hand on the bottom. So the physical hand, if you go to your name, it should say, oh, they took that out, so they're gonna have to change that. So where reactions are, you have a hand clap, you have a thumbs up, and then a couple other emojis. So you can have people participate that way if the presenter wants some kind of feedback, or they can always raise their hand. But if you go over 50 people, sometimes you'll be on page 2 and no one will see your hand wave. So I will check to see if Kathy can open up the raise hand function, because that is also there, but I don't see it in this one. So, and Zoom did have an adjustment, so that may be there as well, that they don't allow you to show raise hand.
On my screen, I do see it.
Okay,
But you,
cool.
in my experience, it's if you're the host, you're not going to be able to see a raise hand button option, because you're the host, so you won't be raising the hand for yourself. For the participants, like for this one, if you click on participants, you'll see raise hand, yes, no, go slower, go faster, and more.
Perfect. So if you guys can all just take a look at that and do that really quick, because that's one of the questions you're going to get from people. What do you mean by raise hand? I saw Randall do it. I could do it. Nathan has done it. And then you can pop that on and pop that back off. So that way they can raise their hand. So if there's a question sometimes, you can't see their hand raised or they're holding it up. If they don't write it in the chat, you won't know. And then part of your job as teching is to really read the chat and let the presenter know. And so what's worked for me in the past is I tell the presenter if anything comes in private from me, it'll come up in red. And then they can see it. But sometimes if they're sharing their screen, they won't be able to see all that. So it makes it a little difficult. So they may have to follow you, and you may need to, I told my instructors last time that if I give them one of these, like an O, there's something that you may want to look at the chat. And, while they're talking, just look at the chat, see if they can talk about it now or talk about it later. And that'll pop up for them. But you can work that out with the instructor. It worked well for me last weekend that I just did that because they saw that pop up and okay. And then they're like, can I go look at the chat? And then they looked at the chat. So any questions with chat, raising your hands or getting the attention of the presenter. Okay, cool. All right. So how many people are new to doing tech? Everyone's done it before. Oh, okay, Miranda.
When you say new, I've done a lot of tech, but I haven't done like Zoom.
Okay. So now have you checked a Zoom room before, like where you've taken care of the room or hosted the room before? That's probably what I should say.
For my own things, yes.
Okay. Okay, so you know what.
I've hosted Zoom rooms. I've not yet done breakouts, which is part of the reason why I'm here. So I can add to that part, as I know that my first tech one of Evelina is going to be wanting to do breakouts, from my understanding.
Yeah.
And
perfect.
I've done a lot of Zoom meetings, but not really rooms with breakouts.
Okay, perfect. So that was one of the major things I wanted to get done here. And Jess, you had a question? I think?
No, I just wanted to say I haven't done any Zoom teching before, so brand new.
Okay, perfect. All right. So so that's pretty the gist of it. And then if someone wants to do breakouts, when you're the host, and we'll play around with other people being the host, you'll have a bar at the bottom and it'll say mute, stop video, security, participants, polls, chats, share screen, pause and stop recording, reactions. And sometimes if your screen's not big enough, you have to hit more and it'll say breakout rooms, right? And then what happens with the breakout rooms, you'll have breakout rooms and it'll come up and say create breakout rooms. And I wish I'll try to find that link later on today that Zoom did. And it's on YouTube, or just search Zoom breakout rooms. It's actually pretty good to see that. That's how I learned it a long time ago. And it'll say assign participants into how many rooms, automatically or manually. And then you have 8 participants. So there'll be and once I make you guys a host, you'll get to see all this. There'll be an up and down arrow. And if I hit the up and down arrow, it'll create more rooms. But as it creates more rooms, it'll say the number of participants that will be in a room. And most of the time it's 2 to 3, okay? Depending on what the instructor wants. Follow me. I know that's a lot so far. Are we okay with what I'm saying? 2 to 3 people in a room. It'll say participants per room. And then you'll hit a button that says create room. And when it create room, it's going to give everyone a prompt to join a room unless Kathy has adjusted it that it's automatic. And then you have to ask everyone to accept their room if they choose to do so, because in this container, you don't have to do anything you do not want to do. But if you have 3 people in a room and all of a sudden the person, or 2 people in the room, and someone doesn't want to go in, then person A will get there and there's no one there. And I've noticed in a lot of these that the person gets triggered. Like, oh my God, no one wants to be my partner, but that's not the case. And so that can be a situation as well. So just be aware of once the rooms are made, you will go and hit breakout room down at the bottom and see if any of the rooms don't have at least 2 people in it. And if not, we can try to get one of the emotional support people in there or move people around to make sure they have at least 2 people in the room so they have someone to work with. But I've told them in the past that if you don't have someone, wait like 30 seconds to a minute. If not, leave the room and come back to the main room, and then we can figure it out. So that's probably the best advice to give them. If you don't have a partner, come back to the main room and we'll find you a partner. Or a lot of times that person that doesn't have a partner, I partner up with them because I'm in the room waiting anyhow. All right. Does that make sense for everyone? All right. If you want,
I do have some questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
So first of all, I'm imagining that it would be good to ask the presenter how many people to have in a room rather than just assigning a number that we think is good. Is that what you typically do?
Yeah, so the first 30 minutes when we get into the room, I actually go through all that. Are you going to have break, or the day before, if I can, are you going to have breakout rooms? How many people do you want in the room? You know, how are you going to make that work? Evelina's is a little interesting, sorry, because she actually wants a male body and a female body if she can have it, which makes it super difficult rather than just manually putting it on. But yeah.
So in that,
Extra challenge mode. Engage.
so in that case, you would not use the automatic, you would use the manual. You would look at the, whether they're a she or a he and assign them manually. Is that what you would do?
Yeah, but I'm going to talk to Kathy, and I think what's going to happen is that we're just going to do it manually. You'll get 2 to 3 people,
Right.
and that energy will change. We're not doing anything. We're running energy, and obviously the energy is different. Yeah, it'll all work out. Right?
Thanks for letting me know that that is a up-leveled expectation of Alina's.
Yeah.
Trial by fire.
Okay, so so Art, did that answer your question? Just contact the instructor during that 30-minute setup, which is sound check and lighting check. That's the main thing. And ask them if they have breakout rooms, how many people they want in the breakout room, and ask them if they're going to play music.
It sounded like the suggestion was to have that in an email that we send a couple of days in advance. Is that?
Yes, that's the best. That's the best way to do it. My only problem is that, like, if you're doing it tomorrow, and some of the instructors are in Europe, or they may not see it. But that is the best thing to do, Art. Yeah, that's perfect.
And we get their contact information in a presenter page somewhere.
Yeah, so I go search them down. I hunt them down like on Facebook or the website and get there. But Kathy was supposed to actually put it inside our tech sheet, and that's all in behind the scenes.
Also, if you look on the Google sign-up form, one of the tabs at the bottom of the sign-up form will be the presenter info as well.
Yeah.
So that presenter info will have info about the talk, all the contact information for them. So using that same link, you should be able to find ways to reach out to your presenter as well.
Okay.
Most of that information we can get just before the 30 minutes we get there before the meeting, right?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, so what normally happens when I do this, the 30 minutes, if they get there on time, you get them set up. It takes about 10, 15 minutes. And then a lot of the instructors, I'll be right back, and they'll take a bio break, or I even suggest, hey, you want to go, get situated? You can turn your screen off for a moment, get yourself situated before, and then they come back. Or I may need to go to the bathroom or do what I need to get done to come back. So really from that 30 minutes, 15 minutes is get your work done. And then 15 minutes to just get centered so you're ready to handle that task, if that makes sense, right? So you're not rushing. Yeah. Are we okay with any of that? I know we have to play around with breakout rooms, and that's the main reason we're here. The other thing, it's a lot easier if you're on a desktop or a laptop. If you're on a phone, super difficult because you can't see all the participants in gallery view, and some of the functions don't work in off the phones, especially if you're trying to move people around in breakout rooms sometimes. Okay.
Can you even create breakout rooms from being just on a phone?
I've never tried it. I've actually never tried it. I don't think so. I think you can only make people host and co-host. Yeah, I've been learning now that I'm on a laptop or a desktop, and then my phone is just like this Emo Dreams. They're just there just in case I lose the computer or something like that, or if I need to go into another room or something like that, I can do that. So desktop or laptop is the best way to go. There's just a lot more other complications if you're on a tablet or a phone. The Surface works almost like a tablet. So just think of the Surface Pro. If you have a Microsoft Surface Pro, it works like a tablet. Okay. Even though it has
So Maha, in one of the documents they mentioned that there was a recommendation to keep a Facebook page open so that you could communicate. And I'm guessing if you have two monitors, you could put that on one monitor and this stuff on another. Is that something that we really should do, or am I confused?
Yeah, it's your best interest to see that, or just use your phone so if you have to talk to the presenter and they have your messenger and it's open, like right now, Evelina just messaged me on Messenger to find out who's teching hers. I have it open right now, so I can always talk to her. And while she's talking, she may not be able to see the chat, but her phone will ping and she'll, oh, okay. And then all of a sudden they adjust and says, oh, I have a question. Well, let me read the chat. Or, ooh, this person gave a good question. I want to be able to talk about that question. So it is in your best interest that you communicate that way, but you don't need to. It's just in your best interest that you do that. Yeah, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Get over that. I want you to practice emotional support rooms. Dimitri, is there anything else that I'm missing? I know you've talked a little bit.
Yeah. So the handout that you've provided us with, that you just did a screen sharing on it,
Uh-huh.
it says, I have a question about question 15.
Okay.
Um,
Get it?
says,
I'll read it to you. Once the Facebook Live is started, the tech lead may transfer host to you. If so, you must stay in speaker mode while broadcasting to Facebook. If you change the gallery view or pin a speaker, then that will broadcast on Facebook. Stay in speaker mode until the end of the call when you end Facebook Live. Okay, yeah. So, which means when you are, and this is why the second device comes in handy, they want you to be on the speaker view. So right now I'm talking. You see that little square around my my picture or my video. So whatever's around that yellow square is going to be pushed onto Facebook. If I click this and I put, right now it's on speaker view, if I put gallery view, then it'll show the picture of all of you. And because of confidentiality, we really don't want that to happen, right? So you're going to put it on speaker view, and all of you, if you want, you can click up in the right-hand corner, hit speaker view and see what that looks like. You should only see me because I'm talking, right? So Dimitri, can you do me a favor and talk for me?
Yes. Okay, so
And it should have changed. Yeah, it should have changed to Dimitri, right?
okay, that makes sense. I assumed from the writing that they meant pin it to yourself. Because what I thought is we pin it to the facilitator and we put it on speaker view.
I would pin or spotlight or pin the speaker, and then just leave it there and so you'll have a really on your screen, like right now, because I'm talking and I put it on my screen as only the picture of me, right? Talking because I'm talking. And that's what I want to go onto Facebook. So pinning or speaker view, however that is. The problem is if you, and I have to double check this with Kathy, like Dimitri, when you just talked, you actually came up on the Facebook feed, right? And I'm not sure if Kathy and Monique are okay with that. Most of the festivals I do, they don't want that to happen. They only want the speaker's face because of confidentiality. Yeah. So they can hear your voice, but they don't really want to see who, your name, and because it sort of relates to that.
So it sounds like what you're saying is not to use speaker view, but to pin it on the presenter. Is that correct?
Yes. I put spotlight and I pin it both. Yeah. So right now, if I go to you and you're talking and I hit spotlight video, you are going to be on the screen, right?
Right, which is what we don't want.
Well, if it's the speaker, yeah, because the speaker's talking. So you can spotlight. That's why I spotlight the speaker, and then I don't have to worry about it. But then I don't change my screen. I don't change my screen to gallery view. So I just keep it like this on speaker view, spotlighted, if that made sense.
Well, if you click on gallery view right now, it wouldn't change to gallery for me or for anybody else.
Yeah, it should. If you hit gallery,
Hit gallery?
yeah, hit gallery view and see what happens. And you'll see everyone again, right?
No, but if you hit gallery, I will still see.
Yes, but the Facebook feed will see what's on my screen. So now that I hit gallery, everyone's on my screen.
So the Facebook feed goes and concentrates on who the host
Yes.
is focused on.
Yeah, whatever the host screen looks like.
Right. Now, a question that comes up for me is that since with Evelina is wanting to do this very specific male-bodied, female-bodied pairing, which would probably be easier to make that pairing if I'm in gallery view, would it be first important to like transfer the hosting over to the other tech who's the support tech who's in the room, Jessica, first, and then have her be the one that's spotlighting, and so therefore I could go into gallery mode to go and look at who to go and pair?
Okay, that would work perfect. The only problem is the only person that can create breakout rooms is the host. And so once you transfer the host to someone, they can make out breakout rooms, but you can't, and then you lose everything else.
So just as a co-host, you cannot create breakout rooms. You have to be the actual host.
You have to be the actual host.
Okay.
Yeah. So what Eco, I'll talk to you offline because there's solutions to it, and maybe me, Kathy, and Monique and talk to you and talk to Evelina a little bit about it. So that's a special scenario.
Yeah.
And we'll talk a little bit of everything. Everyone else probably should be easy, that you're either doing manual or automatic. Automatic works great. 2 to 3 people. Make sure that at least 2 people are in the room. So, and yeah, that's probably the best. And then Dimitri talked about making sure that we are pinned and on speaker view. So that's what's going to the Facebook feed. Yeah, the Facebook feed adds a little bit to this one. So if you've been a tech for other festivals, that hasn't been an issue, but because we're doing Facebook, it makes it a little more complicated, but I know you guys can all handle it. Yeah. All right. Are we okay with that? And I'll let you guys practice a little bit with the breakout rooms. That way you get used to it.
Question.
Yeah.
So usually I'm on gallery view,
Mhm.
always, and
Yeah.
just make, for example, at the beginning of each session, I want to make sure that everyone has their cameras on to make sure there are no trolls. So people turn on their cameras at the beginning and make sure it's a real person, and then they can turn it off. Now, if we put it on gallery view, then it won't be on speaker view, and the Facebook feed will see the gallery view.
Correct. So for that scenario, that's a great one because I do the same thing. Now let the emotional support people handle that. Let them, you only worry about making sure that you are getting the Facebook feed and the recording right, and let the emotional support people take care of all that. If that, yeah.
Do you want us to be host or co-host?
You are going to be the host because only the host can do the Facebook feed.
And you will do the Facebook feed for us, or
I'll get it started, and then I'll transfer it over to the host. So
how
the
do we
host will be
terminate?
the, what's that?
End meeting? Do we just end meeting after and we don't need to worry about Facebook? Like once we end meeting, or do we need to
Correct.
say?
Yes. Once you end the meeting, it'll end the Facebook feed. But if they're in breakout rooms, be careful because when they're in breakout rooms, your conversation in the main room will be on Facebook. So that could be a time where I personally, I actually just step off a screen and will just or mute yourself or something because you'll be on Facebook because you're like, oh, okay, they're gone for 2 minutes, and it'll be you in the. But so like with Evelina, I did Evelina's before. Me and Evelina actually went to the practice. So on the Facebook feed was actually getting the practice, but it was me and Evelina. So that's a way of doing it too, where you can go to the practice with the instructor. Yeah. So does that make sense, Dimitri?
You pause the recording when breakout rooms happen, but even though you pause the recording, you're still going to be on Facebook.
That is correct. Unfortunately, that is correct. You pause the recording, but Facebook is still running live. Yeah. Fun, huh? Fun stuff. Okay, that's a great question. Thank you, Dimitri, for that. All right. Any other questions so far with that?
I have a question.
Yeah.
You mentioned to find out about music, whatever they're planning on playing. Is there anything that we need to do about that, or do they just play it themselves?
I suggest that if they're going to play music, they play it themselves because you're going to have a lot to worry about with making sure, Facebook is going on, on that. But I would suggest if they want to play music, have them play it themselves. So there's an option down at the screen that says when you hit the up arrow right next to the green share screen, it says one participant can share at a time or multiple participants can share at a time simultaneously. I just click that and then allows anyone who's a co-host or a host, and you will make the presenter a co-host. They can present they can share whatever they want. If it's a slide, they can do that. And the ones that use slides, I've noticed that they're very professional at using slides. So they know all the ins and outs of Facebook. Marla Stewart did one the other day, and I was like, she had closed caption and everything. I was like, wow, I've never seen it before. So they're very good at doing that because that's how they present their material to their students. So just let them do it. And if they want to put music, let them share their music. All you're doing is when you get in the room 30 minutes prior, you are listening to the volume. And I don't know if I can play music because I'm playing music in the other room for the other festival, but let me see if I can do it. And I'll see how loud it is. So let's see. So I go to share screen, I hit share computer sound, I go to advanced, I hit my computer sound, I hit share, so now it's sharing, and then I will play my Spotify.
I hit advanced first.
And see how loud it was? I have to take it down to almost like number 3 on the volume thing to keep it that I can talk over it. Right? All right. So,
The other challenge that we did go and get to learn at the last festival of doing this
yes.
is, since it's streaming on Facebook, Facebook gets really picky about what music they allow to go and play, and if they deem it to be a copyright infringement, they mute the entire sound. So anything that is being said by the presenter while the music is playing will not show up on the recording. I know that there were at least a few upsets that happened from that. So if your presenter is actually looking to play music, let them know that that could be an issue. And if they like have purchased music off of like Spotify or something like that, that is most likely going to be flagged because it's just for personal use and not for like a Facebook streaming live. So the other thing is, if they're trying to play music from a second source or have someone else go and play music while they talk, the way that Zoom works is it'll bounce back and forth, so both will come across choppy, and that doesn't come across well in the recording or in the live experience either.
Perfect. Copyright infringements. It'll mute the entire thing on Facebook. It'll just mute the entire thing. And the other thing is to the choppiness of it, where you're sharing the music. So, unfortunately, sometimes playing music in this scenario, because we're using Facebook, is not recommended, but the presenters have their way of doing things. And we can just remind them again that that's happening. Yeah. Cool. Thank you, Aiko. Those are all great things. Yeah. Anything else?
One more question.
Yeah.
Two. Do we need to worry about anything else? Like, will the chat be shown on Facebook if it's on your page?
No. The chat, that's a good question. Chat will not be shown on Facebook. It's only the video screens.
Like, if I open the chat, is it going to show?
No, it's only the video and sound that's being put.
And regarding emotional.
Regarding, say that again, because you, okay. What's the question?
We're not going to have emotional support group Zoom links, are we? Like, if people want emotional support, how do they find it?
Okay, so emotional support, they can private message the 2 emotional support people in your room. There'll be 2 people in your room. They can also contact you, and you can contact the emotional support people. Probably preferred is just, like Emo Dreams down there, right? Emo is the emotional support for this room right now. And in my little beginning, I said, hey, if anything problems, go ahead and contact Emo Dreams, right? And he's here to support you. At the end, we do have a lounge this time around. You can say if you feel like you need community, or if you need to discuss anything, you can go into the lounge. And I know if you are part of the Facebook group and part of the Intimacy Dojo page, they'll have the link for the lounge. And the lounge would be basically another place to get emotional support. But great questions, Dimitri. Yeah. All right.
Where is the link for the document you showed earlier?
The link for,
The document you showed earlier?
I got it in an email. Let me see. I actually got it in an email, so let me see if I can see where it came from. I could put it in the chat after this, or the Facebook chat.
All right, great. Thank you.
Yeah. But yeah, I got an email, and what I'll do, I'll put it in the Facebook chat that for the text. So if you're not part of that group, right? Please let Kathy know. Because if you have a problem and you put it there, I think oh, there it is. Nathan just put it in there. You can click that. Where me, Kathy, and all the other Monique and Peter and Eco and Pushkar and Becca, and obviously it's a 24-hour festival, and I'm up 20 hours out of the day, but I actually Thursday and Friday I'm actually working as well, so I'll be at work, so I'll try to be back to you as quick as I can, but there'll be other people holding down that space while I'm out there. But Kathy and Monique and Peter are all part of that group, and they most of the time they answer the questions anyhow because they know more than I do. Yeah. My number one job is making sure I start the Facebook, hand off to the host, and then go to the next place to start the Facebook and hand it off to the host, and that's really my job. All right. Any other questions with that? And I know we still haven't practiced the breakout rooms. Yeah? Okay. Anyone want to try sending us to breakout rooms? Yeah. And
Sure.
are you on a computer or are you on a laptop or a phone, Nico?
I'm on my laptop.
Okay, perfect. So we'll start with you. And I'm going to make you the host. So
Maha, didn't you
actually,
say
go ahead, Randall.
I'm sorry, didn't you say it's something at I guess it'd be 7 o'clock your time?
Yeah. I got out being the tech host for that. My room is the Tub Talk. So I'm going to go sit in the bathtub, and if anyone has to do like during the festival, if they need just a place to come talk and chat it up, I'm sitting in the tub.
Okay.
So thank you, Randall. I'll let Eco practice this, and I think someone else raised their hand. Was it either Nathan or Art? Yeah, on my left-hand side. And then after that, I'll jump in over there. Cool. All right, so I'm gonna make everyone co-host. Actually, I'll make Eco, I'll make you the host, and you can make everyone co-host. Yeah? Because that's probably what's gonna, okay.
Okay.
So the first thing I do is I go to participants, I click that open, right? And then I see that. So there's two ways. You can go find ecos on that long list, but if you got 50 to 100 people, if you don't put tech first, or it's hard to find. Or I can go to eco. There's three little dots. I hit the three little dots and it says make host. I will make host, and you now have the ultimate power. I have nothing.
Yay.
I've got the power. All right. So your job is to go, you can either make everyone co-host right now, or you don't need to. Just go down to the bottom and hit breakout room.
Got it. Create breakout rooms.
Okay, and then
Since I'm going to do this manually, I'm going to see what happens when I assign 8 people into 4 rooms, manually hit create rooms. Okay, then assign Dimitri and Emo, assign Justin Miranda.
And then while he's doing that, we're going to all accept the breakout room. We'll jump into the breakout room, and then we will hit leave room and come back into the main room. It'll just say leave breakout room. Don't leave the meeting. Just leave the breakout room once he gets, and then we'll come back. And we'll let him do it 2 or 3 times, and then so he gets comfortable. All right, it'll say join. If you can all join.
Alrighty. Close all rooms. Oh, and I even saw the little message in the breakout rooms section that gave me the option to send a message to all the participants in the breakout rooms. Part of me was wondering how to do that. So, awesome. Okay. So I'm comfortable with that, doing that again. Who would like to go and try it next?
Can I try?
I'll go.
Absolutely. All right, Josh. Make host. Actually, Maha, did you say you wanted me to make everyone co-host first and then? You're muted, Maha.
Just make the next person the host. You'll be okay. We're not doing a temple. When you do the
Okay.
temple, you got to do all that stuff. We're not doing a temple. I'll let you guys won't.
Jess, you now have the power of host.
Cool. All right. So breakout rooms. Okay, you can like move. There's an uneven number, right?
Okay.
You just pair yourself with one of the people then?
You can, or you can put 3 in a room if you want.
Okay.
But oh wait, here you go. Emo Dreams is not a person. That's just a tech backup. So don't send.
Okay.
Don't
Yes,
send.
there
them
are
in,
are
and you be
people.
even. Emo Dreams will only go if you need someone because they're the emo person.
Yeah, 7
Okay.
mentions. So.
Okay, moved it. There we go. Perfect.
All right. And then we'll do the same thing. Go and then come back.
I didn't get an invite.
Oh. I don't know why. What's your name?
My name?
Tech-Eco.
Yeah.
I
Oh.
don't know mine because I did not get an invite to
Oh,
go
I see. Yeah, that was my bad. I guess you were unassigned from before.
into a breakout. Right. I did not get assigned because I was the one that created it before.
Yeah.
I see.
And
Was
then
that,
go ahead,
was
Randall.
that set to go to the redo the last breakout room sessions, or was it randomized again?
No, it was still in the old room session, so I just moved a couple people around so they weren't alone, but I just missed Eco's name.
Okay.
Yeah. Is there a way to clear it so it's not
Yeah.
like the assigned ones from before?
So it'll do it again. Pop it open, and it says recreate. You have to close the rooms.
Oh yeah,
which you did.
yeah, close all rooms, recreate all
Yep.
rooms.
Yep.
Okay, that's like a nice way to reset it. Thank you for showing me that.
Yeah. Thank you, Randall, for mentioning that. I forget all these things. There's a lot of stuff. All right.
Who's next?
Art. Tech art. So, okay, Jess, you're going to go to tech art and see him in 3 little dots, and you're going to make him the host. It'll say make host. Just make him the host. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. You have ultimate power. Okay, so Art, down at the bottom, you should see a thing that says say breakout now. If you click that 4 little squares.
Yeah, I don't yet.
You should be.
Okay, there are participants, more
Oh, hit more. Hit the more.
breakout rooms.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay,
Sometimes it's under more.
okay, I found it.
Okay.
Recreate.
And then make sure two or 3 people in each of the rooms.
Okay, here we go. And then open all rooms.
Mhm.
Okay, and nothing's happening. You click open all rooms?
Oh, did you assign people yet? So you have to either assign automatically or manually. If you did manually, you have to move everyone over. If you hit automatically, it puts 2 to 3 people in each.
Yeah, okay, I'm clicking open all rooms and nothing's happening.
Okay, so let's go back to recreate. We'll start from the beginning. Right? Did you see recreate or close all rooms first? Okay, now you're going to recreate the rooms.
Okay, so I think what happened was I got a note saying my internet connection is unstable. And when I went to the breakout rooms, I clicked create rooms and nothing happened.
Okay, so just hit, so when you hit breakout, does it show people in the rooms now? Are there people in the rooms when you hit the breakout thing? It should, oh, there you go. You got it. All right, now everyone can go to the room and come back.
Okay. Once again, I did not get an invite. I'm curious, Jess, did you get an invite?
No, I did not.
Okay.
And was that with the auto thing? Because like the way I did it was not through the auto way. So
yeah, it's kind
I
of
don't know.
interesting from the person who's been transferred host to. Okay.
Oh yeah, you're right. Because I feel like we're like.
Because
it's
like
like
it was transferred to me, and then I had
Yeah.
manually added everyone. I think you did an automatic, and it did not add me.
No, I didn't do automatic. It had as the
Recreated.
old setting. I didn't
It-
recreate it.
And then it went over to Art, and with Art, it
But did he clear it?
didn't include me or you.
What happened with me was I hit the recreate, it did all the rooms, and then I said, open the rooms, but I got a sign saying your internet connection is unstable.
Hmm.
And I kept clicking on that button to create the rooms and nothing happened. So I think what happened was my internet took a dive right at the wrong time.
All 3 times, whether it was Eco, Jess, or you, Art, every time I got Maha as my partner.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're not hearing you, Maha, because you're muted.
Do me a favor and make me the host. So go up by my picture, the one that's talking. Go up to the 3 little dots and make me the host. And let me try it. Let me see if I can.
I do know that there is a thing in the recreate that you need to go and click so it actually shifts people around. Otherwise, if you do just the recreate, it'll put them in the exact same pairing group as what they were before. And so there's a setting or something that you need to go and click so they can get remixed up again instead of recreating the exact same pairings.
Okay, so I just did it and it recreated and it wasn't the same exact pairings. So I'll try it again. Let me see. Breakout rooms. So right now I have Jess and Miranda together. I have Eco and Nathan together. I have Emo Dreams and Randall together, and Art and Dimitri together. So when I hit recreate, and it's 4 rooms of 2 people, automatic. Now I have Eco and Miranda. I have Art and Nathan. I have Emo and Jess, and Dimitri and Randall. So no, it switched it. They switched around. Okay.
I go. Rules was
Randall. Okay, cool. I'm gonna give it to you, Randall.
Okay, so it may be that you need to hit recreate to switch it up instead of just create room, which will make the same pairing.
Right. So recreate. So that's a good observation. Make sure you recreate it if they want different pairings. And most of the times, people come to these workshops to connect with people, and it's always nice to connect with different people. But sometimes the instructor wants you to have all 3 breakouts with the same person to dive deeper. So it all depends on what the instructor wants. All right, Randall, you got it?
Uh-huh.
Okay, cool. There you go.
So I'm noticing something concerning. It looks like every time we come out of a breakout room, whatever picture I pinned is no longer pinned.
Yes.
So I'm
So
guessing that as a host, we shouldn't be going into a breakout room ever.
as a host, no, as the host, you don't go anyhow. You'd have to, so, and a lot of times, and I'm going to teach you this trick because you guys have now played around with it. I'm going to make someone make me the host. Well, Randall make me the host, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Now, I'm going to make the breakout rooms. And I didn't like it because all 4 people are in there and I didn't want that. So I'm going to,
Yeah, I wanted to try that, so I did it.
yeah, no worries. So I'm going to recreate and I'm going to put 2 people automatically in each of the rooms. Now, the problem is I'm the host, but Emo Dreams is actually the instructor. You don't want the instructor going. So right now there's 4 in each room and I don't like that. So I'm going to recreate again and I'm going to make sure there is 4 rooms and then automatically and do it again. Cool. Now, I don't want Emo Dreams to go anywhere because she's the instructor. So this is what I do. I add another room because you'll see that. I take Emo Dreams and it says move 2. I moved them into breakout room 5. Okay. And say someone's being triggered, like Tech Eco is being triggered. So I'm going to move them into 5 as well. Okay. So everyone else has a room. And actually, Eco and Dreams has a room. But I don't want them to leave. I want them to stay. Because that will be the emotional support person and the tech person. Right? And I want the emo person to stay here for right now because they're the odd person. So I just created that room. Now, when I go to breakout room 5, you'll see rename and delete. I'm going to delete that room. When I delete that room, that puts Emo Dreams and Eco in like a purgatory. They don't have a room assigned to them. So when I hit open rooms, they will stay here. Everyone else will go to a room and they will stay here. So basically, you are setting up a room when you, especially when you have odd people, for the emotional support person and the presenter. You create a room for them, an extra room. So add a room and then delete that room because then they won't be asked to go to a breakout room. Do you get all that? That's a lot, I know.
Won't I leave them in the main room?
That'll leave them in the main room because that's where you want them.
Well, when people come back, then they'll be popping in. If someone doesn't go, then they'll still be in that room with them.
Yes, if they don't go, yeah. And then you ask them really nicely, is there something wrong? Are you having trouble with your computer? Would you like to go in the next room? Right?
Did you fall asleep? What's going on?
Yeah. So when in this festival, you don't have to have your cameras on, so you don't know if they're there or not. So these are all these little things that I've been doing for the last 13 weeks, and so I don't know if you heard, this is my last festival, so I'm not doing any more after these.
Okay.
Yeah, I can understand. This is my 9th or 10th festival this summer.
Yeah.
Question.
Yes.
You don't have to have the camera on at the beginning of the session?
No, not in this festival. Each festival is a different room. It's interesting, but that's how they have it.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Monique and Peter and Kathy are really big about choice, including the choice to have camera on or not. And so for just about every session, outside of like the play party, where they do require people's cans to at least initially be on during the rule agreements to make sure that everyone is actually present for the rule agreements. Um, Otherwise, it's completely optional to use the camera or not for this particular festival.
All right.
And Maha, would you be willing to share really quickly how to go and move people from room to room? Because if we do have a breakout situation where some people choose not to go in the room, which they're welcome to not go into the room, they don't have to, then we may need to move people to different rooms so they are actually paired instead of in a room by themselves.
Great question. I don't have the answer. No, just kidding. I'm just messing with you. I'm going to make you the host and I'll talk you through it.
Okay, great.
Make you the host. Okay. So the scenario is Emo Dreams doesn't want to leave or doesn't want to go. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people. Right? So if Emo doesn't go, we're even. But say another person doesn't want to go, right? Is that what you're saying? And now you have to move someone. So create your room, just like you normally do. Okay. And don't open the room. So now when you hover their name, it should say exchange or move. And this will help you when you're trying to do the male, female. I mean, that's going to be interesting because we're trying to get away from that.
Yeah,
right?
explicitly having the agreements of like moving away from the male, female, masculine, and feminine.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's
But, and it may just be some kind of guesswork too, depending upon what they display their name as, if they don't explicitly put their pronouns
so
in.
and that's why I said we'll talk to Monique about talking to Evelina to make it easier on us. Right. So,
Sure.
Yep.
One thing that comes to mind as a possibility for that is with Evelina putting a request that those for her session use the rename function to put their pronouns in to make it easier for me
yes.
to be able to differentiate fairly quickly.
Non-binary.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is with they them, that may be
Yeah.
the dice roll, but if they're already identifying as non-binary, if I put they them with they them, they can
Yeah.
probably
Mm.
flow with the
Yeah.
masculine feminine part for that.
Okay.
Mm.
Good suggestion.
Mm.
All right. So now you're just going to exchange or move. You see that if you hover over it, it says move or exchange.
Right.
Yeah. That's how you just move them or exchange them.
2, breakout 3. Move 2, breakout 1. Okay, got it.
Okay.
And right.
Can you move them while they're in? Yeah, you can while they're
Yeah,
in rooms.
I can. So yes. So I would like open all rooms, and then
you can move us around while we're in the room. So don't come back yet. Let us move around and then.
sure. Move 2, 4. Move 2, 1. Move to 4. Move to 2. Move to 1. Yeah. Okay, got it. Get Randall to come back. had to wait for the timer to count down. Being back.
I get muted when I come in the room. Miranda, did you need any of the practice of anything?
Yeah, I would like to practice the breakout room. Sorry, I got a phone call.
Are you good now? Can you do
I'm
it now?
good now.
Okay. So, Eco, did that answer your question?
Yes, it did.
Okay. Okay. And then let Miranda do the breakout room.
Thank you guys. Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
It's okay.
Okay.
I'll be
Miranda
right
now
back.
has the power.
I'll be
I
right
have
back
power.
because I got to go check the other festival, make sure that's going okay. I'll be right back.
So you also need to make sure that we set the proper time for the breakout rooms. Otherwise, they'll come back too quickly.
How many breakout rooms should we create? 4?
17.
4. No, but then Emo and Dave. Oh, this is fun. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm playing with this.
No worries.
This is cool.
Mhm.
Okay, so you should have 2 to 3 people in your rooms.
That's not good. I was supposed to have a room open in the other festival. I went in there and my computer died because it wasn't plugged in. So I got to go fix that in a sec.
Could I try doing it one more time?
Just
I feel like I didn't get to really do it because it was the incorrect way.
so once you guys are done, go ahead and play around with it. I'll be right back. I just got to go fix that other room and I'll be right back.
Okay.
Just make
I'm going to bounce here too, unless I'm needed.
as long as we have 3 or 4 people, we're good. And I have 3 already. So just have Jess. Miranda, you good? Make sure Miranda's good.
Yeah, did that work for everybody? Did anyone have
Yeah.
any feedback?
Yeah, I
It
even
was
had a
great.
nice little
Yeah,
message
it
at the
worked.
top.
Is there more we need to learn, or is that pretty much it?
That's probably the hardest thing. Everything else is somewhat easy and it's in the checkout list. So
I still need to try it once.
yeah, so we can have Jess and Nathan do it. I'll be right back. So just have one of them
Yeah.
become the host and I'll be back.
Perfect. Thank you.
I said that right.
Yeah. So who's gonna make me the host?
Who's host now?
Oh, that's me. Sorry, let me do that. Let's see here. Participants, more, make host, change host.
Thanks.
Yep.
Co-host create break.
There was something different about that one.
Yeah, you guys were in just 2 large groups of like 4 or 5, whatever. Like it wasn't groups of 2. I don't know how do you make it groups of 2. Is there an option for that? Of number of participants per group?
So whenever you're clicking how many groups you want to create, if you pick 2, then they'll be 2 rooms. So if you have 9 people, you have to think, okay, if I want groups of 2, then that would be
Okay, so it's the
rooms.
opposite way. You tell the
Yeah,
system how many groups you want versus how many people you want each group.
exactly.
The other
Okay.
thing though was there was no invitation to click on. We just were plopped in a room. Do you know what you
Oh.
did on that?
I don't know. I've never done this before, but I'm not too worried about it. Luckily, Janelle is my roommate, so I'm gonna get her to teach me this. So I don't have to waste everyone else's time here. You can have a turn and we all can end this meeting, I feel like.
Well, I'm actually curious
Okay.
about that spot. We're about the point where it says manually, or I think it just says manual or automatic. So leaving the rooms to go into the rooms.
So you don't want the automatic setting on?
Well, I'm just trying to make sure I understand where that setting is. I should make
Yeah.
me post and I'll take a look.
Okay. Sorry.
Randall.
Can you, Randall, that wants to be, where, put your hands up. Where are you? Which person?
I put my hands up. I don't see my camera's off.
If you go to participants and
Oh,
start
I see
typing,
what's happening.
What's that?
I have to go to participants. You're not on the video thing. Got
Oh,
it.
you must have your set to not see hide on video participants.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
There we go. I got it though. Thank you.
All right. So also need to remember to when to pause and stop recording in there too, huh? All right. So breakout rooms, options. Oh, the top one, move all participants into breakout rooms automatically. So we uncheck that to give them the option. You get the option.
yeah, that seems to have been it.
Art is asking for.
What's going on? Randall, you still there?
I am. Art had clicked on ask for help, so I jumped into and the pop-up came up to join his breakout room. So I went to there. Did it make anybody else host while I was out?
No, it just kept saying that you were the host.
Oh, okay. Good to know. But if I was doing recording or something, I wonder how that would be affected.
On Facebook, it would seem to follow you. Not sure how it would react on Zoom.
And I'm gonna move to something like this.
What was the question? And I can see if I can answer it.
There was a help, an ask for help, and the host jumped into the room to help.
Oh, yeah. That that would send the Facebook into where it would follow you. Yeah, into the room.
Mm.
So basically, I always keep an emotional support person with me, and I would send the emotional support person into that room. See how that works? If there's help,
Mm-hmm. Yep,
just send the emotional support person in. Good question.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Are we can we like pre-assign breakout rooms if we know what the instructor is wanting or the presenter's wanting?
Mhm.
Or is that more like on the fly kind of thing that you guys normally do?
No. So once they know what they want, like Evelina's like, and her name keeps coming up because it's a little more intense. While she's talking and doing her intro, I'm on the back already organizing the rooms, right? So I have the back breakout rooms open and I'm moving everyone around. So the problem is that she has 3 times. So I tell her, hey, give me a little bit, and then I give her a thumbs up. Hey, I got the breakout rooms created. Okay, now we go. So yeah, you can totally pre-assign them. You're working on the back end while they're talking, for sure. Yeah, especially if they just do it once. Those are great presentations for us when they just do one breakout room. Like I run a tantric cuddles one, and throughout the hour and a half, we actually go 4 times because we do like each chakra. There's 4 questions, and so we work on each of those questions with different people. So yeah, my tech person, thankfully she's very nice to me. she does all my stuff for me. So all right.
So I
Yeah,
have a
Dimitri, you had a question. Or sort of Art. So Art, you go first, and then Dimitri will go. Go, Art.
Yeah. So a couple of times you mentioned the email people will be doing certain tasks, the tech person's doing certain tasks, and it sounds like there's this implicit communication path that's outside the scope of the actual presentation where those people can communicate. And is that typically done, like you said before, with Messenger, typically done with the chat within Zoom? It seems like it would be pretty difficult to actually have those communications real time. And particularly, I'm not sure that the emo people have this same kind of training session, so I don't know if they know everything that you said that they're supposed to be doing. Like I'm also doing emo, and they haven't told me some of the things that you mentioned.
Yeah. So we'll start from the beginning. There should be a talk during that 30 minutes before, right, to make sure everyone knows their roles and responsibilities and
Okay.
what they need help with. I know the meeting that happened Monday. Kathy did say you're there to help each other as a team, but you're right. So in the past festivals, I've either used Messenger, WhatsApp, or just text. I've used, a lot of times, I'll put the, me and the emo, or me and the instructor and the emo all on one thread, right? So
Like a
all of us,
messenger group.
yeah. So basically, all 4 of us would be in a messenger thread, and if something
Right.
comes up, like, or they can chat in private. Like, so someone's like this weekend, hey, this person's having an emotional moment. Can we have a breakout room? And that came in through a private message to me from that email, and it comes up red when it comes up in the chat if it's a private message. And then I was like, oh, cool. And then I just put them in a private room, moved them both into a private room so they can talk about that. But here, the email is just talking through text during the event. It's a little bit easier
So
for
if
the
if you put 2 people into a private room, can you later put some different people into a different private room without impacting the main discussion in the main room?
You actually can, because once you open up the breakout room, you put manual, right? And
Okay.
and then
Got
you
it.
just make
So the
10
breakout room is
rooms.
going forever.
Yeah. So what I normally do is I preset like 10 rooms that are just there. And then I take, say, emo 1 and person 1 in room 2, right? And then later on, all of a sudden, emo 2 has a person 2 that they need to talk to, but 1 is not back yet. So I just put them in, in room number 3. Yeah. So good question. These are all great questions.
Is it, I'm understanding we're not doing that this time, that
No,
they're just
yeah.
chatting in the chat?
That's correct. This one, they're
Right.
just chatting in the chat. So the emotional support person is there to help the tech person as well as be emotional support. They're the emotional support for the tech person, basically. Yeah.
And I heard that the emos also are collecting questions from participants so that they can later be replayed to the presenter.
Yep. Yep. So
So
those
the tech people don't need to be involved with that.
should not. I mean, sometimes you'll see it. If it happens, just keep it, that question there. What I normally do is I rewrite that question and privately message the instructor so they know it's been brought up, or I do that little wow face like, hey, check the chat. Check the chat because there's a question for you. Because some people, I mean, they react a lot to the speaker in the chat, and it drives me nuts because I'm trying to get the information, and they're like, "Wow, that was great." Oh well, and it's like there's this conversation going, and I'm like, I'm missing the important information, right? But hey, all is welcome here, so you just deal with it. That's my own insecurities. So yeah, Dimitri, you had a question?
Yeah, you said you can pre-assign rooms. So-
Well, what she was asking is that can you make up the rooms? Once the instructor knows that they're going to do a breakout room, right? You can, while they're talking, you can make the room. It's not so much on the fly, right? I mean, it's not like, oh my God, we're doing it automatically right now. They'll say, hey, at queue number 3, we're going to be doing it. So as soon as all the participants are in, then you can start preparing the rooms if you want.
When you go to breakout rooms option at the bottom of the screen, you can assign how many rooms, which person is going to go to which room. Then you exit that. And when you enter that again, all the settings are already saved as per
Yes.
before.
Yes, that's exactly what happens. And then you just open rooms. All you have to do is open the rooms because it's already saved.
So if someone
It's
joins
technically not
late,
saved. What's that?
if somebody joins late, then they're not part of that, right?
Right. So you just, before you hit that, hit where it says assign, and everyone that's not assigned yet will pop up in a little drop-down menu, and then you just click. Yeah. Good question. Those are all great questions.
And how do you lock the overall room, the Zoom room?
So in the bottom left-hand corner, there's a thing that says security. When you hit that, it'll come up and it'll say lock meeting, enable waiting room, share screen, lock chat, lock, rename themselves.
And you see that when you're the host sees that.
Yes, and I'll show it to you so you can see it. Am I the host?
You're the host.
Oh, so maybe the host. All right. So you can see that.
Is that the same place you disabled the waiting room?
Yep, same thing. You just make that check mark. Okay, one more check. I'll be right back because last time my computer died and it was hosting one of the rooms. So I'll be right back.
You said bottom left?
I think you said bottom right.
Oh, security. So it's in the middle.
Guys, I
It's in the
have to
middle.
head out. Sorry, but
No worries, Jamar. I've got to go
thank you
too.
so much, Maha, for everything.
Yeah, you're welcome. That tub room has got risque. I didn't know it was going to get risque. I may not want to go in that tub room now.
Well, can we go over there?
Risque.
Yeah, if you're part of Sanctuary, I think it's a Sanctuary event. Yeah.
Question.
Yes.
What happens if the host's connection is unstable, or if the host by accident leaves Zoom? So it's a two-part question. What would happen to the Facebook feed, and what would happen to the Zoom session?
Facebook would freeze. Well, actually, no, because it would Facebook would continue going because it'll default to the next co-host.
Okay.
I think it defaults to the next co-host.
Okay.
And what's the second question was?
What would happen to the Zoom session then?
The Zoom session, no, the co-host, whoever the co-host, as long as there's someone in the room and we don't close the room, it'll continue going. Because sometimes if you lose the feed, within like 20, 30 seconds, it'll try to reboot itself and get back on. Zoom would. Yeah. You'll see it spinning.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, Zoom would, and it'll try to get back on. But that's why, like for me, I always have that second device. But if my internet goes like, what is it, integrated feminine? My internet was completely out. And I was like, what do I do? So I called up the person that runs Sanctuary, and she lives about 40 minutes away from me. I'm like, my internet's gone. And when I called AT&T, the line is severed because of the fire. And so I went and used their internet to finish out the thing. Yeah, I have to do that.
Everything turned out fine? Like the Facebook Live feed and the...
There was no Facebook Live feed. and the guy that was from Bali, who is my assistant support guy, he finished out the session. Yeah, because it automatically, he was the co-host, so it automatically defaulted to him and not the presenter. And so he finished it out. But the reason I became the host, it was actually he was hosting. I became the host because he was in Bali and his thing kept going in and out. And so I'm like, just make me the host. And then mine actually went out. And yeah, but my computer, my internet was gone for 2 days. And so I actually went to someone's house and finished up the integrated feminine retreat. Yeah.
Is it all right if I try out the breakout room thing?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna head out now, though. Thank you so much for the training.
Yeah. Good luck this week. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, Jess.
Okay.
I have to go as well. So
Okay.
have fun. See you this weekend.
All right.
Yeah, I might as well bail out too. Thank you very much, Maha.
Yeah.
Are there still
Yeah,
enough people here to try the breakout?
Yeah. My ghost.
Okay, where would it be?
Okay.
Oh, just showed up.
It just shut up. As long as there's 3 of us, which there is, that's why I always put Emo Dreams in the house. And Dimitri's still here too. So
Okay.
thank you guys all for sticking around. It was supposed to take a half an hour, but
Can name it.
Useful,
what's that, Dimitri?
really useful.
Oh yeah, this is how we play around all the time. Me, Pushkar, and David, and Becca, and we find some things about Zoom that we find all the time. I mean, especially with the new update that happened on Monday, right?
Oh,
Have
you're
to
supposed to
update
find
the
out
software.
how to update.
Okay, let's go to that room and I'll come back and then I'll talk to you about the update.
Did you guys update the software on your computer?
That was my question.
That was your question?
Yeah. I couldn't figure out how.
I muted. Okay, so I think it already did it. It just went active as of this week. So the way that you know that it happened for you, try pinning 2 people. So go and just pin 2 people, and you guys could do it at the same time.
Oh, really?
So yeah, pin just 2 people, and if you can do that, you got the new update because that's part of the new update.
No, it doesn't work.
Yeah,
let
I don't have
let me
that.
see if I do it. So if I do this and I pin Nathan, pin video, and then I go to Dimitri and I pin video. Yeah, I got both of you guys. They pin
Really?
you. Yeah, they pin you both now.
Okay, so you got the new version.
I have the new version.
So how do you get it if you don't have it?
You just go to Zoom and ask for download, new download.
Okay, so I was thinking there was just like an update button I could push somewhere.
Yeah, you just go to zoom.us or just put Zoom update, and it's a downloadable thing. It goes to, is it 5.2 or something like that it's called?
You had mentioned that when you create a breakout room, you want to put like the emo and the teacher in a room. You create a room for them.
Yeah, and then delete it.
Oh, here it is. I didn't see add a room before. Okay. So you go and you add a room, you'd add those specific people to it, and then
Delete it, and then delete the room.
you want to get everybody else situated first before you delete it though, right?
Yeah, because then otherwise you won't know who's who. Yeah, so get everyone situated, because what's going to happen is if you do automatic, it's going to put the instructor with someone,
Mm-hmm.
and then the email is going to be with someone. So what I do is take whoever's with the instructor, take them and put them in the same room as the emo, and then take the emo out. Right? And then I take that emo and put the emo in the same room as the instructor, and then delete the room, if that made all sense. Yeah.
Okay, and then if you end up finding that there's a room that only has one person in it because you've taken those 2 out.
Then you put the emo back in. Then just put the emo back in. And
Okay, I got it.
have the emo participate.
It looks
I
like
mean,
the
we want
breakout
that you
rooms
guys to-
close automatically after 1 minute.
Yeah. 1 minute?
That's what it's showing on this one.
Someone changed that. Randall must have done that.
All right. Okay, cool. I think I've seen what I need to see.
You don't want the host, you don't want yourself and the facilitator in the breakout rooms ever then.
No, you really don't want them in there, no.
If the person leaves a breakout room and then starts kind of talking, like, I'm just curious, how do you go
Back
about
into
it?
the room?
Huh? They come
back
out
to-
and then they start asking questions. Oh,
Yeah, it's going to be all on the Facebook.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't create this. So when they come in, just say you know that you're live right now. If
Okay.
you have any questions, please put in the chat. That's what you basically tell them to do. Any questions, put in the chat.
What
Is-
about,
is- Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to ask if you have, do you tell people ahead of time if you have any questions, put in chat? Because do we want questions to be live?
It all depends on the instructor.
Okay.
I really suggest that there's a question and answer period at the end, because then the instructor can get through all the work they want to do, right? Because otherwise it breaks, like especially a lot of these instructors, if they're like me, when I'm teaching, I'm actually transmitting. And when you ask me a question, that transmission breaks, right? And then you got to get back to that transmission. So I tend, hey, at the end, put your questions in the chat. We'll get to them at the end. But that's just my personal, but ask the instructor, they'll figure it out. Yeah. All right.
Curious about the live thing. Like, do we want people's voices to be recorded?
We have no choice. And that's why if they're written in the chat, then the instructor can just read it and then we don't have that problem. So it's a great suggestion, hopefully by Monique and Peter and Kathy, to have it that way. So now we don't have their voices on Facebook, right? Because I know I've been in many of these festivals. I know who's talking. I can be in another room and they talk and I know who's talking because I've been in enough of these rooms and I know voices now, And so I actually could be somewhere else and, oh, I know who that person is because I've been in enough of these rooms. I mean, this is, like I said, number 15 or 16 of me since March 2nd. So.
Did someone just make me host?
Co-host.
Co-host, okay.
Oh, you want to make
got
him
it.
host? Oh.
I made Maha host.
Oh. Yeah, perfect. Do you guys need anything else?
I do have a couple more questions.
Yeah.
So if my connection is unstable, then Facebook will try to reconnect, and then if it doesn't,
Yes. Yeah, they'll reconnect. So just know that whoever's your co-host, it'll default to them. Okay. But I tend not to try to move around. I try to find the best spot in my house. I mean, this is not the best spot for me, but it's the most quietest spot for me.
Okay, yeah. I think that was my last question.
Actually, I just had a question now. We're recording this on Zoom, right?
Me?
So,
yeah, on Zoom, yeah.
So we're logged in. We log in as Kathy then.
When you're recording it on Zoom or recording on?
No, we have
no.
to log into her account to record it.
No, the tech leads will do that. The tech leads will already be in the room with you.
I'm set up as a tech lead for like one early morning one.
Yeah. So yeah, then you'll use Kathy's account.
Is there a tech lead meeting?
I don't think so.
All right, I'll just get with Kathy.
I was hoping Pushkar and Beck would be here, but I know they know more about this stuff than I do. So
it's okay. I have a meeting with Kathy later on, so I'll figure it out then.
All right.
Great. Well, that's all I have.
All right. Dimitri, you're good?
We don't log in with any account that's given to us. We just log in with our own.
Just log in with your own account. The tech lead should already have the room open or will be opening the room. So that's a way of keeping the accounts more personal to certain people.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right, guys.
Starts in a couple hours. All right,
Cool.
Dimitri, thank you. Are you going in Sanctuary?
Yeah.
Why don't you go? Yeah, I'll meet you in Sanctuary.
All right.
'Cause that's
See you,
where I'm
man.
going. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. How do we go to Sanctuary? Go exit tab.